What we should learn in sex ed is that sex is a natural thing. Your parents did it, that's how you are here. And even our teachers' parents did it, that's how they are here. So stigmatizing it does nothing for us, because what do we learn? We just learn how to judge other people rather than to live our own lives and be happy.
I think that comprehensive sex education should be something in some ways that starts from the beginning of your schooling, whether that be very zoomed out conversations about consent and communication, that when you get to the middle school or high school age and you're sat down to have this like sex education, you're not like, oh, communication is a totally new skill to me.
I think sex education, there's a lot that need to be fixed. Personally, I never even had sex education in school. And what I've learned through the programs that I am in is the most that I know. And I think it's important to talk about it, because a lot of people are they don't like to talk about it because they're very uncomfortable. And it's important to tell other people of what is going on in the reality and make sure they face the reality as well.
Mm-hmm. They should be taught that sex is not this dangerous thing, and that although it can have, it could have like some bad results from it. I think that the way, like, teaching it in an abstinence-only manner is just pretty dangerous, because it kind of defines sex in a way as something that's bad. And I think that we should talk about the intersectionalities of sex between religion and race and gender.
Also, sex ed for LGBT, and for other people to know about sex ed for LGBT, and especially for trans folks, because I know nothing about that, and I'm kind of sad that I know nothing about that. And I couldn't imagine how it is for trans people who know nothing, or who know like little about sex once they've already transitioned, or how everything works.
Okay, so in sex education class, I really like to learn more about the different types of birth controls, like condoms and birth pills aren't the only way. I know there are devices that you can insert, or patches, but we don't have enough. I don't know much about those things. I also like to know the human anatomy, what can be done to prevent HIV and STDs, just basic stuff like that. Because in schools, they be like, boys use a condom or don't have sex at all, but
everyone should be taught everything that they should know about abortion, but without the sort of political connotations, just like what it is, and like in this state, this is an option.
And it should include a variety of lessons of, okay, well, sure, abstinence, because that's an option, but also now that you're going to have sex, here are all the options. And then after sex, here are all the options. Yeah. And that's in case you get STIs or you end up pregnant. What are your options now? Yeah. Because in life, it's all about options. And if schools aren't teaching us about the options we have, when that happens, we're not going to know what to do.
My vision is inclusivity, not only of the LGBTQ, but people that are disabled, people that like you don't, see in the movies and all that stuff. We have this idea of one way of having a relationship, only having, the person of the opposite gender, but there's a lot of things that go into having a relationship and like intimacy. And so being able to really explain all the things that are out there will really give young people an idea of like what they can do, make like educated choices, and being able to, have that empowerment of like, what, I know this stuff, and so I don't need, the media telling me, I don't need anybody else, because I know.
It's important, especially for us, we're both in high school. I don't think not teaching sex ed isn't going to stop anyone from having sex, and teaching sex ed in a shameful way or fear-provoking way maybe will stop some people, but it will honestly most likely stop people from reaching out to the resources and the guidance they might need either before or in the event of anything bad happening. And so I just think doing nothing and doing things that are harmful and keep people unable to have a healthy conversation around sex are more harmful than having sex ed.
We should learn how to have healthy relationships rather than don't have a relationship, and if you do, or if you do without your consent, then you're a slut. We should learn you're human and you are loved no matter what happens.